Good afternoon. This is Dr. Bill White again, and I want to talk to you about things that you do in orthodontics that really change people's lives, the way you make them look better, and that has a great influence on what that person can accomplish. So I've got a case here that is a good example of this, and I just wanted to show this young man had several problems. He had huge adenoid tissue, which made him breathe. It blocked his airway, and he breathed through his mouth, and keeping the tongue in the bottom arch of your mouth, the bottom arch, it spreads the lower arch out wider than the upper arch, and your cusp hits cusp to cusp, or you change and you cross bite in that. And he was a tongue thruster, a thumb sucker, and a bunch of these things, and it just messed up his appearance so bad that here are the models. I'm going to show his picture in just a minute, but anyway, to lower the vertical dimension, we're going to take the second bicuspids out, and we checked that he had good second molars and also good first molars, second molars, and wisdom teeth, and we're going to take the second bicuspid out to help us lower the vertical dimension of the face. And it needs to be lowered, and we're going to straighten this whole thing out across here and bring this thing back to a class 1 relationship. So let me get through this. You see the upper arch is spread out here. We're going to put a palatal separator in here and spread this upper arch out with that palatal separator, even while he's got the deciduous teeth in the mouth. And you can follow this. This is a good example of this. Now the lower arch was spread out, and he also has a fused tooth together down here. So it's a stack of problems in the case, and so you're going to get cases like that have a whole group of problems, and you can have the same situation come up where you'll only have one or two problems, and you'll still have to change the facial structure in here. So let me get on with it. Now he also has a short chin. It has a retrognathic problem in here. The chin really should be out, something like this. This is after we had worked on him. I lost they never did come back. That was back when we sent the pictures off, so I don't have the pictures of his original view here, but you can imagine what it's like. He looks pretty normal in that particular deal, and we have brought this down to where the teeth are lined up across there like they should be. Now we use an occipital headgear. We used a lot of tubes, and you can cut that bar here, right here, and raise the front teeth, or you can cut it where it's along here, and it'll just raise the whole arch up, or you cut it back here to just pick up the molar area. And the upper arch can be raised different ways. Now, lots of people say, well, I've never used a headgear in 6 months or 10 years or whatever. Well, headgear is just a good tool to put force on teeth where you need it. And so why throw away something good like that? Now, we can use TADs today and do some things that we did with headgear, but anyway, this is what we used on him, and this is the picture now. And I want you to look at this adenoid tissue, and there is the airway right in here, and that's, I think, was what started this off, where you had to breathe through the mouth. And so if you breathe through your mouth, you've already got your tongue down here, so you kind of swallow like that, and that you don't bite together when you swallow, and so your teeth move together, and your vertical dimension of the face gets longer, and all this good stuff. So there's a whole stack of things here. Now, I'm going to run through these x-rays pretty good. We had the adenoid tissue, and I think the tonsils down here, had the adenoid tissue removed up here, and you can see it's gone now, and now the airway is good. So we could train him to breathe through his nose now. He's so used to breathing through his mouth and just breathing through the nose, and we were able to bring his teeth back into alignment and stop the thumb and the tongue thrusting, and we use these little fingers on the tongue thrust problem. The fused tooth made a little bit of a problem for that. Now there's the adenoid tissue kind of blown up, and there it is gone. And so it opened the airway considerably. So you're going to get patients with things you need to deal with an ENT person or somebody that'll help take the adenoids, tonsils out. That's the airway, but the nasal airway can be a problem. It can be deviated septums and oversized turbinates, and a lot of things can be wrong with the nasal airway. So you've got to get an airway for somebody. If they're forced to breathe through their mouth, it is very difficult to stop these problems that create such a problem with the facial structure and the way it looks. All right, here we just show the x-rays. We took out the second bicuspids. The upper cuspids were extremely crowded, and that's going to help us. So you can see we marked these off, but that was prior to we separated the palate before we did this. But you can see the cuspids now have got a pretty good place to come into in the mouth, and these teeth will move forward in this. This will come back some. Line up, I don't think I've got about 9 patarexes on this young man. That's another, and you see it's getting closer. And then we've got the wisdom teeth are here. That's up here, and here, and here. So we've got all these wisdom teeth, and I'm almost sure those teeth will be able to come in the mouth, when we get there. Well, here it is. That's I don't know which x-ray that is, but anyway, that's close to the end. And we took that fused tooth and lined it up with just like one big tooth. He's age 12 and 11 months, nearly 13 at this point. Everything's in. You can see the little fingers we've got for the tongue thrust problem. And that breaks the tongue thrust, and now we've got him in class 1 relationship, and this is video number 9, and I don't have one where his wisdom teeth are coming in, but everything is off and cleared up. So you're going to take people that have these problems, and we'll go through the braces here. That's just routine stuff, and except for we had one bracket on these 2 teeth that are fused together, and we line that tooth up, and you can hardly tell it when you get through with the case. And we open space for the cuspids, and then the first bites go back with the second work. Here is the palatal separator. I didn't have a picture of the mouth, so I just put this on the old model where we made it, and to show what it was. This is where the second molar, the 6-year molar, was attached here. This is a deciduous second molar and a deciduous tooth here. And you can put them in early like that. All right, let me see, did I erase everything? Okay. Now you can see the fused tooth right in here. We're going to line it up like that. And we have corrected all these functional problems, and we're able to go through this. And we'll finish this young man, and I'm sure that he will be pretty much that way the rest of his life. Now the cuspids are coming in, and this regular orthodontic fingers are shortened there on the tongue thrust. And here we had this occipital head. See these little tongues under there. And if you cut these bars here, it'll raise this bar. If you cut these deals off back here, then it'll pick the whole thing up at once. Or if you go back with them a little further, you can pick the back teeth up instead of, in other words, you can tilt the maxilla like that. So this is a wonderful tool to use. And so don't to say, well, I'm not going to use these things. You explain to the child what it does. Usually you will get somebody to cooperate with you, or I did. And here was the models when we started, and there it is after we finished. And there it is. And that changes the life of a person. I don't care what, I'm having a nose problem too. All right, then here is the other side of the mouth, and there it is in a class 1 relation. And I'll guarantee you that if you go in and change somebody's facial structure that makes that much difference, that person will achieve more in his lifetime than you would if you left him looking terrible. Now, that's something for orthodontics. We did that with a few wires and some bonding material and extracted a few teeth in there. And look at the upper arch now, and the bicuspids are out, but the arch is bigger than it was. That's the lower arch. Let me go back and see. Here's the upper arch, and you see how much wider it is after we got through. Now the lower arch is wide to start with. We extract the teeth, and it's about the same size, but the upper one comes out so that the teeth of the upper fit over like this, and the buccal cusp is outside and keep you from biting your cheek. And I know that's a fact because I'm a mouth breather. My lower arch is too wide, and I'm always chewing my cheeks over there. I guess I want to go back and have some orthodontics done. And here he is when we finish. He's still got this short chin, but he may grow out some as he gets older. I've had lots of young people that do that. So anyway, he's got a beautiful smile, and that's going to make a big difference in what this young man tries to accomplish in his life. There's the way he started, but I want you to remember like that. So if you have people that have these bad malocclusions that just mess up their facial structure, learn how to do this. I appreciate you watching this. I hope you got something out of it. And I want you to join our group and subscribe to our group. And I want to do good, complimentary orthodontics. So I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll close this out. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.